Okay, I'm back on solve each problem, and we're on consecutive integers. So part one was talking about the shape side. Part two, we're going to go ahead and talk about the consecutive integers. And this is the same assignment. This is part two of solving equations involving shapes and consecutive integers. So I stopped where we need to find two consecutive even, and I talked about 6 and 8 as an example. To get from 6, I had to add 2, so I'm actually skipping one number in between. So if I don't know where I start, then I have to start at n, because it could be anything, but I do know that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 2 to my next number. So now we actually have an equation. N plus n becomes 2n, and bring down my 2, 126. Minus 2 minus 2, 2n equals 124. Divide by 2, n equals 62. If this is my first one, my next one has to be 64. If you take 62 plus 64, that adds up to 126. There's our two answers. Number 2, the sum of 3 consecutive integers is negative 114. 3 consecutive. The first number plus the second plus the third equals negative 114. This time it says consecutive, so we're not skipping any. So let's think of an example. If I say 3, my next number has to be 4 and 5. If I say 5, the next number has to be 6 and 7. If I start at 14, then it would be 15 and 16. No matter where I start, sorry, I had to pause the video for a second. So, anytime I have my first number, I always add 1 to get to the next, and then I have to add another 1, which is really adding 2 from the first number. So if I start with n, I know my next number has to be n plus 1, and I know my next number has to be n plus 2 because I go up by 1 every single time. Now we're back to my equation. Combine like terms. I have 3 n's plus 3 equals negative 114. Minus 3 minus 3, 3n equals negative 117. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Let me get a calculator. So 117 divided by 3 gives me 39. This would be negative 39, and the next integer would be negative 38 because I have to add 1, which means I'm actually going less negative, and negative 37. If you add those three numbers, we are guaranteed for those to be 114. The sum of 3 consecutive odd integers. So we talked about even, now we're talking about odd. Let's see an example. 5, so if our first number is 5, our next number has to be 7, 9. To get from 5 to 7, I added 2. To get from 5 to 9, I added 4. So once again, this is the exact same setup as an even integer. So if I don't know my first number, my second number has to be n plus 2. My third number has to be n plus 4. This has to add up to negative 219. Now I can go ahead and combine like terms. I have 1, 2, 3, n. 2 plus 4 is 6 equals negative 219. If I subtract 6, 3n equals 219 plus 6. Debt plus debt is more debt. 225 negative. Divide by 3. 225 divided by 3 gives me 75. So n equals negative 75. I need 3 odd integers. So negative means I got to go less debt. The next odd integer would be 73 and negative 71. I am guaranteed that this plus this will give me negative 219. Number 4. two consecutive odd integers whose sum is 111. Go ahead and pause the video here and at least try this if you have not been pausing it before. You should have been pausing it before. Two consecutive odd integers, 1 plus 2 has to give me 111. If I don't know my first number, I know my second number has to add 2 because I skip 1. This would give me 2n plus 2 equals 111. Minus 2, so 2n equals 109. If I take 109 divided by 2, I get 54.5. This is not a number. Therefore, there are not two consecutive odd integers that can add up to 111. This is actually no solution. It's impossible to have two odd integers that are right by each other in counting order to add up to 111. Let's go ahead and see about the sum of three consecutive even. Pause the video and try. Even integers would be n plus 2, n plus 4. First, second, third, they have to add up to 138. So, 3n plus 6, I combine like terms, minus 6 minus 6, 3n equals 132. If I divide by 3, 132 divided by 3 gives me 44. My first even number is 44, so then next would be 46 and 48. If I add those to double check, that would be three even integers that add up to 138. And we are done.